Hey guys, Mr. Mills is here. Today we're going to look at applications of inequalities notes. At the end of this video, you should be able to set up and solve word problems involving inequalities, and you should be able to analyze your answer and put it in the context of the problem. Okay, in writing an inequality from a word problem, use the following general template to set up your inequality. So, write an expression to represent the target amount, or the target or goal or limit. Okay, that's what we're going to set up first, the target. Then write an expression to represent the changing amount. Okay, and this is what we're starting with, and it'll usually have a variable there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to determine the sign to put in between it. And in this case, we're going to talk about an inequality sign. Okay, so let's look and see in a couple examples here. It says Johnny wants to spend no more than $500 on a new gaming system. Through doing chores at his house and helping his neighbors, Johnny makes $35 per week. If he already has $80 saved, find all the possible numbers of weeks Johnny must wait to be able to afford his gaming system. So target $500, right? That's how much, the top of how much he could pay for a gaming system. And then second, it says the actual money that Johnny has. Well, Johnny already has $80, okay? But that's only part of it, right? The actual money that he'll have when we're talking about this problem is the $35 per week plus that $80 that he already has. So this is the money that he has. Okay, now we talk about the symbol. Well, Johnny doesn't want to spend more than $500, so no more than $500. So I'll say less than or equal to, because no more than means he's okay with spending $500. Okay, so as we set this up, we're going to say, okay, the money that Johnny has is 35W plus 80, $35 times the number of weeks, because he gets $35 per week, right? $80 that he already has. And we want to make sure that this is less than or equal to 500, because Johnny is reasonable. He knows that more than $500 on a gaming system is just too much. Okay, and so here we have our equation set up. And so we can go through and solve it. We can subtract 80 from both sides. And that gives us 35W is less than or equal to 420. Do not make it equals. Keep it as an inequality, please. You're solving an inequality. Okay, and so now, as we divide both sides by 35, we find that W is less than or equal to 12. Okay, and in our solution, we will not just say 12 because it's less than or equal to 12. He could wait 12 weeks and have $500 to spend the limit of his inequality, but he could, at the end of 2 weeks, have $115 and buy a PlayStation 1 or something, PlayStation 2 or Sega and a Nintendo. Okay, all he wants is a new gaming system. We don't know. These are all the possibilities. The longest that Johnny will wait is 12 weeks for a new gaming system. Okay, next example. Oh man. Okay, the service elevator at a construction site can hold most 800 pounds at one time. If a worker weighing 160 pounds is loading boxes weighing 55 pounds each onto his elevator, what are some of the possible number of boxes the worker can take in one trip? So here we go. Here's our limit. Here's our limit, 800 pounds. Zoom in. Okay, our limit is 800 pounds. Now we have to talk about how much we weigh getting on here. So with the person weighs 160 pounds, that doesn't change. It's just one guy. And then each box weighs 55 pounds each. Okay, now as we think about our inequality sign, which side do we want to be heavier? The limit on the elevator or the stuff we're putting on the elevator? Any elevator that I want to be on, I hope that the limit is heavier than the things that I bring onto it. So here's our inequality. So now we go through, solve it, Subtract 160 from both sides. That gives us 640. So 55b is less than or equal to 640. I'll do 640 divided by 55, and that gives me 11.63. Okay, which is pretty good because we're talking about inequalities. And so are we going to dump out half a box so that we can bring it? No. How many boxes? What are the possible boxes that we can take? Well, it's going to be less than or equal to 11. Okay, and that's where we're at. Okay, we want to make sure that that makes sense. Last one here. It says Sherry started a business designing and selling custom t-shirts. The equipment she needs costs $4,700. She buys the plain t-shirts for $33.20 each. She then sells the newly designed t-shirts for $19.99 each. For what number of t-shirts sold will Sherry make a profit? So now we're talking about profit. We have to talk about how much money she gets. Okay, she's going to need to get $4,700 in order to make a profit. Move this decimal so I don't confuse it with something else later. All right, I'll just write the whole thing over. She's going to need to make $4,700 in order to make a profit. Okay, so her t-shirts, she buys them for $3.20 per t-shirt, buys them as a negative, and she sells them for $19.99 per t-shirt. So when we talk about t-shirts in general, we're talking about $19.99 minus $3.20, and that gives us $16.79. So 16.79 T. This is how much she makes per each t-shirt that she sold. Now, in order to make a profit, we need this side to be greater than that side, not equal to, because equal to would not be a profit. It would be breaking even, which they didn't ask us about. So as we solve this, we take 4,700 and divide it by 16.79. And we find that she needs 279.9. So 279.9. Okay, but she's not going to be able to sell 0.9 of a shirt. So here's the thing. She needs to sell more than 280 shirts in order to make a profit. 279 doesn't work. We needed 0.9 more shirts in order for that to work, but nobody's going to buy 0.9 of a shirt. Well, I don't say that. But we're not selling 0.9 of a shirt. Okay, so, or Sherry's not. So here we go. That's our word problem, setting it up, making sure that we think about our target, thinking about the changing amount, and then really taking into consideration which signs are appropriate. Okay, see ya.